Yes, the game everybody loves to hate and everybody wanted to love. To say No Man's Sky hasn't had an impact on gaming is selling the conversation criminally short. From one of the most anticipated games of 2016 to one of the biggest controversies and disappointments of the year, today we're going to be cracking a few eggs and going over the good, the bad, and the ugly of No Man's Sky, and my general thoughts about the game. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it with the positives. I absolutely loved and hated the first 20 hours of the game. And what I mean by that is it's a slow burn. It's a fucking crawl at points. But it's also the point of the game where I also felt you could still be surprised. There's a lot of emergent moments in the game that just catch you by surprise, or just have you there like a kid, like, wow, like this looks crazy. And I also really love the fact that that is the moment of the game where it's at its strongest in regards to the exploration and the survival aspects of the gameplay. You're definitely going to be running around worrying about your suit, your exosuit, collecting resources to, refuel your ship again and fixing it up, and just maintaining your multi-tool and upgrading it for parts here and there. You're gonna be dealing with that tension of like managing whether you want to do this or that, and that's definitely gonna go away the further you get along in your journey, when you're more accustomed to the game's mechanics and have more inventory space and have more resources and whatnot. Especially once you have upgraded all your gear, you have less things to craft, making the whole process much more streamlined, and arguably makes the whole game overall more boring over time. But that's just an unfortunate side effect of games with upgrade systems. I mean, hell, even the Souls games are easier once you have leveled everything up, so that didn't really bother me. That said though, the art direction of this game goes a long way in complementing the exploration aspect and definitely keep that fresh and interesting for the player. At least it did for me. Because unfortunately, these days, I do feel like they managed to make sci-fi boring as far as the visual aesthetics go. And that's not to say that Star Wars sucks, but most of this stuff is inspired by Star Wars. It's the most easy to understand thing as far as sci-fi goes to most people. So what I'm basically saying is I appreciate Hello Games for trying to do something with their 1970s, 1980s inspired sci-fi aesthetic. And I think a strong art aesthetic can go a long way in giving a game some personality and some legs in the future when it's more stylized. But I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me talk about all the good things about this game, because honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, there's a whole lot of negative things to talk about with this game. But I think a lot of the flaws in the game come down to a lot of the system, the core pillars of the game. Exploration, trading, combat, and survival are completely at odds with one another. And what I mean by that is you have to mine for everything. Mining, 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 mining. Resource, 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 resource. Every single one of these core gameplay pillars are inherently tied to the mining aspect. So if you need ammunition, you gotta mine. That's combat. You want to explore, needing warp cells, antimatter, what have you. That's going to take resources. Survival. You absolutely have to take care of your exosuit and whatnot. So, yeah, and that requires mining for precious resources. And so, yeah, that's generally the gameplay flow of No Man's Sky, and it's really disappointing because while repetition is an inherent thing with video games, I mean, hell, look at something like Space Invaders or Mario, you're more or less doing the same thing over and over. Repetition isn't bad, it's about how you go about presenting the flow of gameplay, and unfortunately, this is where No Man's Sky falls flat. And what's strange to me is that After playing this game and many people playing this game, I don't see how multiplayer was gonna fix a repetitive gameplay loop like this. It wasn't gonna make it any better. So I wish people kind of stop asking for multiplayer. The core gameplay is broken here, people. But that said, it's going to give us time to segue into the last topic of the video, which is the ugly. And there really isn't much that needs to be said that hasn't already been said about this. Hello Games and Sean Murray clearly procedurally generated bullshit from their mouths as far as what's going to be in the game. But what game doesn't have cut content these days, people? I mean, you act like it's the first time that it's happened. So what needs to happen right now is they need to update this game with new content. And as far as gamers go, suing this company is not going to accomplish much. What are you going to do? You're going to get their trailer changed on the Steam page, and that's it. I mean, clearly your memory's procedurally generated as well, because Metal Gear Solid 5 fucking lied to you. Every Ubisoft game ever made, even the pre-release stuff for Dark Souls 2. I don't want to hear it. You guys have bought bullshit before. But, you know, sometimes you buy a game you like, sometimes you don't. But thank you for watching, and have a good day, everybody.